Good morning, CoastLife Church. Man, how awesome to be in the new building. Hey, find the best looking person you can around you. Just find them real quick. If you've ever heard me, you've said this before, but I want you to find them and tell them this. Tell them the rest of your life. All right, I know it's early, we lost an hour, but I really think you can do better than that. Look at your second choice real quick. Look at them. Tell them the rest of your life. All right, we're getting better. Try this. Just point to yourself. Say the rest of my life. It sounded better when you start talking about yourself. We'll work on that. But the rest of my life will be the best of my life. How many believe your life could get better? Yeah. I believe when we put God first in every area of our life, I found life gets better when you put God first. And this is a church that puts God first in our life. When we put him first in our life, it's easy to put him first in our relationships, in our job, in our finances, all those other areas. One more time, I'm gonna get you to say that probably as much as I can, because what you continually hear, you'll eventually believe. So one more time, say the rest of my life will be the best of my life. You can be seated. How many love your church, by the way? How many are grateful and thankful for CoastLife? I mean, I was thinking, how could you not love this church? How many love your pastors? How many are thankful for them? I'm like, how could you not love CoastLife when you have Pastor Jason and Pastor Heidi and one of the most gifted, incredible, one of my favorite preachers to listen to. I was listening to last Sunday's message, and man, I wish I could preach half that good. So don't expect it. I don't want to disappoint you. I'm just going to let you know up front. Don't expect me to preach as good as him. Don't expect my jeans to be as tight as his. And don't expect any of that. I'm just kind of going to do what I can up here. But hopefully I'm going to encourage you. I was excited to find out we were popping pills here. And so I'm ready to see what we can find out here. The happy pill. I like that. You know, it's funny. We give a lot of things away, right? We talk about giving. It's good. How many like giving? We like giving. Yeah, most of us do. But some things we just shouldn't give away, you know. Some things we give away our time. That's always good to give away your time. We give away our money, right? We maybe give away some old clothes. We give a lot of stuff away. We give away our energy. A lot of things, but there's one thing I think you should never give away, and that is your joy. Talking about the happy pill, talking about joy. Pastor talked about it last week. He was teaching from Nehemiah chapter 8. The joy of the Lord is our what? Yeah, the joy of the Lord is our strength. How many ever felt a little tired? Yeah, not just because we lost an hour. I'm just saying, you ever felt a little weary? Anybody ever struggled just to feel strong, right? To feel strong. The joy of the Lord. Maybe you've given away your joy. Maybe that's why you feel that way. So if you're weary, you got to think, have I left my joy somewhere? Have I given my joy away somewhere? Because how many know we have opportunities every day to give our joy away? We have opportunities every day to get upset, to get frustrated. Can't find my car keys. Anybody ever lost your keys? Yeah, you can give your joy away. Traffic gets backed up. Someone's rude to you. You lose an hour of sleep. There's always something that can blow up your day, something that can mess up your day. But if we're going to live in joy and we're going to live in victory, one of the things is we've got to have the right approach to life. So how do you live a happy life? Well, you take your happy pill, right? Here's what it says in John chapter 4, 1 John chapter 4. I kind of think the Bible is a good happy pill. You know, I think if we can find some good scriptures, those scriptures, we'll just look at those as our pills. You know, we pop Nehemiah, the joy of the Lord is my strength, right? Pop a little John, 1 John chapter 4 right here. But you belong to God, my dear children. You've already won a victory. Already. That means you already did it. You already won a victory over those people, those ones that are annoying you. You've already won the victory because the Spirit who lives in you is greater than the spirit who lives in the world. Listen, you have already won the victory. That means you're already victorious. That means when you get up in the morning, you're already operating your life and living your life from a place of victory. You are victorious. Why? Because you're a believer. You're a Christ follower. You put God first in your life. You popped your happy pill. Joy, I think a lot of times joy is just kind of a way of looking at things. And the way you look at things really matter. I mean, it's just, and I'm older than pastor, so I got to sit down. It's beyond a feeling. A lot of people think, well, joy is just a feeling. You kind of get that feeling. It's not just a feeling. It's beyond that. Joy is a focus before it's a feeling. It's a focus first. What are you focusing on? You ever heard that thing, life is, that old saying, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, right? How are you responding? Some people are frustrated because they can't control the 10%. I can't control that 10%. And they're not going to be happy unless everything goes their way, unless everybody treats them just right, all the plans work out. And I can tell you what, that's the wrong approach. It's the wrong way to look at it because you can't control the traffic, right? You can't control all these people that are coming to visit Florida this time of year. My goodness. Like me. I asked Pastor, I live in Michigan. I'm like, can I do the whole series for you? I'll stay. Maybe this break out into a joy revival. I'll just stay all week, you know. But yeah, I mean, what your neighbor does, how your boss treats you, all you can control is you, your response, how you're going to handle it. That's where the power lies. And all people, I hear people say, "Oh, I'd be happy if my boss would just treat me better. I'd be happy if I didn't have to sit in traffic like this every day. I'd be happy if my spouse did this." And no, that's not the way to look at it. You're allowing what you can't control to steal your joy, to mess up your life. You've got to change your approach. Even before I get out of bed in the morning, I make a decision. This is going to be a good day. When I got up this morning, I said, today is going to be a good day. Someone said, don't you ever wake up on the wrong side of the bed? Nope. Whichever side I get up on is the right side. Oh, well, your life just must be perfect. No, my goodness, I'm dealing with a few things right now. But I made a decision when I got up this morning. There's another happy pill I found in Psalms 118:24. I just popped that. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. It's my choice to rejoice. Right? It's my choice. So I just popped the pill this morning. Someone said, do you ever wake up grumpy? Like sometimes I do. Sometimes I wake up grumpy. Sometimes I let her sleep. But it's a decision. That's the key. The key is, right, you have to decide. You have to decide ahead of time. And then when life happens to you, when the traffic happens and the children forgot their homework and whatever, and plans don't work out, it's not a big deal because you've already decided this is the day the Lord has made. Well, you don't understand what I went through yesterday. Yesterday's over. Can't do anything about it. You don't understand. Tomorrow I got to go to work. Tomorrow's not even here. All you have is today. If you don't learn how to make the most out of today, I mean, you really don't even have it tomorrow, because when you get to tomorrow, you're going to rename it today. So when you realize that today is all you've got, listen, it took you your entire lifetime to get to today. Some of you took you 22 years to get to today. Some of you took you 70 years to get to today. 53 years took me to, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, 29. They're like, they're like, you look horrible for 29. Why would you even do that? Like, you know, people ask me how old I'm like 73. They're like, wow, you look awesome for 73. If you're going to make up something, go the other way. It makes you look better. So you got to decide ahead of time, right? Then things can't come against you. You're prepared already. Your mind is made up. I'm not going to worry. Worry's no good anyway, right? I mean, what is worry? Just bad use of your imagination, right? When you worry, what do? You imagine something's going to go wrong. What if you just used the same amount of energy and imagined everything going right? I mean, what different? How many have a hard time being positive? Be honest. Come on. It's all right. Yeah, I have to work at it all the time. People say, aren't you like a motivational speaker? You seem so, yeah, I have to work every day. I work. I was born a pessimist. So it's work, right? I mean, even my blood type is even B negative, you know. So it's work to stay happy. I got to keep popping these pills, you know. And but it's a choice, right? And you have the power to be happy. But here's what Paul said in Acts 26, verse 2. Paul said this, I think myself happy. I think myself. Sometimes you just got to think, because nothing else around you, circumstances, situations may not be happy. You got to think yourself happy. The Bible says, as a person thinketh, so will they be. How many believe the Bible? Let me just start there, because some of y'all just seem, about half of you. Okay. But some of y'all are like, really? That's it? Yeah, it's. Wouldn't you hate to find out it wasn't true? That'd be horrible, wouldn't it? We've been doing all this stuff. You ever thought about that, though? Like, what if God didn't really write this? Anybody ever wondered that? That's a big book. Let me see your hand. If you won't go to hell. Let me see your hand. If you, thank you. A few of you. I grew up in church my whole life. My dad's a preacher. Did God really write all this stuff? I started thinking, though, one day, if God didn't write it, who did, right? Someone had to have done it. Started thinking of people I knew. You got to narrow it down, right? Maybe my Uncle Tony wrote it. I don't know. He don't do a whole lot. Then I found that scripture. If you don't work, you don't eat. Like, nope, Uncle Tony didn't write that. I can tell you. But all this, here, look at this. John 16, verse 22. Here's a good another happy pill. I'm going to give you a whole bed. It's like, you're going to have a whole bunch of good stuff by the time you leave here. You'll be happy all the time, just popping pills all day. John 16, 22. No one can rob you of that joy. Nobody. No one can rob you. That means other people cannot make you unhappy. Yeah, no circumstance can force you to get upset. Trust me, I'm not preaching something I didn't have to practice really hard last night when I got here, and I had a couple things my assistant put wrong in my itinerary, and I had a good choice. I'd been going all day, driven 3 hours from Orlando. I had meetings all day. Get here, and I'm at the wrong hotel. And, yeah, got my suitcase out. It was heavy. I already valeted my car, and then it's the wrong place. And I had a choice whether to be happy or not be happy. I won't tell you my choice, but I had to take a pill. I can tell you that. I had to pop a couple of these, because nothing can take I can't let that steal my joy. I can't let that steal my joy. You are in complete control of your happiness. Don't worry. They're good. Remember that song? Yeah, okay. Everybody now. No. It's a choice to be happy, because things can happen all the time to make you unhappy, right? I mean, I was just in Orlando. I rear-ended a car. That'll mess up your day, right? Especially the person you rear-ended. He gets out of the car. He's mad. He comes storming back to my car. It's banging on my window. I'm like, what in the world? Yeah, I looked over, and it was a little person, a dwarf. It was a little person. He looked at me. He goes, I am not happy. And I was like, which one are you? And yeah, I'm just saying, no, don't get upset. Listen. I read a survey recently, 6 out of 7 dwarfs are not happy. I read that. Anyway, so listen, you can't give someone's rude to you. All they're saying is, give me your joy. Give me your joy. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Let me have your joy. Someone ignores you, leaves you out of a meeting. They're just asking for your joy. You have a choice. You're going to give it away, or are you going to keep your joy? Are you going to give it away because you're upset, because you're frustrated, because you're offended, or you can make a better decision? Nah, I think I'm going to need my joy today. I think I'll just keep holding on to my joy, because I'm not going to give it away, because I'll give you mercy. I'll give you understanding. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But one thing I'm not going to give you is I'm not going to give you my joy. A while back, my son and I, we were going somewhere. We pulled up in in the parking lot, and there was a front spot was getting ready to pull out. And so we were coming down the aisle. Oh, man, here it is. So I turned my blinker on like favor, God's giving us favor. Car backs out. As soon as it does, a car coming down the main road just whips right in there and took my spot. And I was a little, I thought about it for a minute. And I'm like, well, Lord, my son said, Dad, honk the horn at him. I'm like, son, we're not going to honk the horn. He goes, Dad, just honk the horn at him. That's what Mom would do. Anyway, I'm not, I'm a pastor, and I don't know what's wrong with her, but give them a piece of your mind. And I said, no, I already made up my mind. I'm not going to give them my power. I don't even know them. I'll never see them. Why am I going to give them my joy? Why am I going to get upset about that? I'm not going to get upset about that. I've already made up my mind. So I just gave them my parking space. Gave them I didn't give them my joy. I gave them a finger, but I didn't. No, I'm kidding. I didn't do that. I promise I didn't do that. But I'm like, I'm not going to give them my joy. That's one thing I'm not going to do. So life is way too short to let all these little interruptions and irritations keep you from being happy. Here you go. John 14, verse 30. A relaxed attitude lengthens a man's life. Wow. When you're uptight and everything's got to be perfect and go your way and go, learn to relax. I mean, my goodness, you're in Florida. You're on the coast. How could you? Go with the flow. Take a happy pill. Come on. You got choices every day how you're going to respond or how you're going to react. So Jesus said, here's another good one, John 14, 27. I'm leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. And the peace I give you is a gift that the world cannot give you. Yeah, so don't be troubled. Don't be afraid. No. It's a choice. It's a choice how you're going to respond, how you're going to react. So let me look at. I love this one too. Here's another good pill. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 5. Paul told Timothy, "As for you, be calm, cool, and steady." And some of you are letting these little things upset you way too easily. An inconsiderate receptionist, a family member. You got to just decide, I'm going to stay calm, cool, and steady. I'm going to pop my happy pill. I'm going to choose to rejoice because in his presence, my goodness, how blessed are you guys with the praise and worship at CoastLife Church and this amazing worship team. My goodness, it takes us right into the presence of God, and that's where you find joy, right? God has given us joy. So when you start seeing things through God's eyes, how can we be depressed? How can we, when you stay in God's presence, here's what it says, Psalm 16, verse 11, you make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence. Yeah, you come in here, maybe you had a couple little things happen and you feel a little down or whatever, you walk in, all of a sudden this worship team begins to take us into the presence of God. There's joy in his presence. There's joy. So what do? You get in his presence. Put your trust in him. Romans 15, verse 13. I'm just giving you a whole bunch of pills here, so you always will have something. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you what? Trust in him. As you put God first. So today, I just completely, God, I surrender to you. I put my trust in you. I put my confidence in you. I put my hope in you. Right? That's where my confidence is. It in me. It's in God. It's in God. I trust him. And today, it will be I'll tell you what, today for you is a perfect time to choose joy. Just to make up your mind today, to decide in your mind, I'm going to rejoice. I choose to rejoice because life was meant to be enjoyed. It wasn't meant to be endured. It's a gift. It's a gift. That's what Jesus came in John 10:10. Jesus said, I came that you might have and enjoy life. Have it in abundance, to the full, till it overflows. God didn't create you just to drag through life. He created you to enjoy life. And he gave us this capacity to laugh. Laughter, my goodness, that's a good thing. You should tell the person next to you, say, you should try it. It's really, what is the Bible says, laughter is like a medicine. My doctor will actually prescribe laughter. Yeah, he'll actually prescribe laughter. Like the heart patients, he'll say, he said one 20-second belly laugh is like 3 minutes of aerobic exercise. Think about that. He said, give me 5 belly laughs. That's like 20 minutes on the treadmill. I live 20 minutes from Krispy Kreme. Like if I laughed the whole way there, this is us all about, this would be awesome. Yeah. So if life was meant to be enjoyed, I want to look at 5 things real quick. If you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. If you got your phone or something, just 5 little things I want you to write down. Put them in your phone if you're taking notes. If you're not taking notes, just go ahead and put these down, okay? Put them down is what I'm saying. We're going to take the word enjoy, E-N-J-O-Y. I'm going to give you 5 things. E-N-J-O-Y. It's just a real easy way to remember things. Because how many have ever got home and go, man, that message was so good. And then what was it? It was good. Man, it was good. It was good. I can't remember what it was, but it was. And so this just help you. It's a way to help. I like the acronyms and stuff, and you always need memory stuff. You just need that. I heard about these 2 old guys were talking, and one of them said, my anniversary's next week. He said, you got any good restaurants, any place to be good for an anniversary? He goes, oh man, I do have a place. I got a place that my wife and I went not long ago, and it was amazing. I mean, it was phenomenal. And he said it was so romantic. It'd be perfect for an anniversary. I was thinking it'd be perfect for an anniversary, and the food was spectacular, and the service was impeccable. This would be, he goes, man, that sounds like the perfect place for my anniversary. What's the name of it? He said, that's a problem. I can't remember the name of it. He said, what do you mean you can't remember the name of it? He goes, you just described it perfectly. He goes, I know, I just can't remember. He goes, you got to remember the name. My anniversary's this week. He said, wait a minute, I think I got an idea. I can remember. What's that flower? The long stem with the red on the top, and he's like, a rose? He said, that's it. Hold on. Hey, Rose, what's the name of that restaurant that we went to? Okay, so this is just a way to help you remember. So the letter E, right? Experience the moment. You want to enjoy life? Today's all you've got. Give your total attention to the present. Make the most out of today. I like that phrase. Wherever you're at, be all there. Wherever you're at. This is the day. The moment should be tasted. Stand still for a moment. Today is really the only place you'll ever really be. So for many of us, it's difficult because there's so many distractions, and there's, oh my goodness, electronics. Those aren't helpful. And to give someone your undivided attention these days, and you got your phone dinging and ringing, and you got to check your Instagram, and you can't be all there if you're checking your Instagram, right? So there's a new term we use in business psychology right now called AWP, absent while present. Absent while, how many people are there, but they're not really there, right? Absent. So if you're not supposed to be on Instagram, don't be on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, follow me at Dr. Dave Martin, okay? It'll be fun, I promise. But you got to give your attention to the moment. Give your attention if you want to experience the moment, and you'll find a big. If you don't learn how to enjoy the day that exists, you'll probably not enjoy any day in the future. Yesterday's over. Can't do anything about it. Tomorrow's not here. Yesterday's history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Yesterday's in the tomb. Tomorrow's in the womb. Right? All there is today, and it took you your entire lifetime to get here. So make the most of it. The letter N. The letter N. Never settle. Never settle, right? You contain in you this incredible treasure. God, you're the creation of the Creator. You have these incredible gifts inside. It's your difference. That's why none of us are alike. I can't be you. You can't be me, right? A friend of mine wrote a book, You Were Born an Original, Don't Die a Copy, right? Quit trying to be someone you weren't created to be. You're not like everybody else. There's a difference. Some people would fly around the world to hear me speak. Other people wouldn't even drive across the street. I'm fine with that. I'm not for everybody. You're not for everybody. That's your difference. And when you understand your difference, that's the purpose you were decided in your mother's womb. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. So listen, your flaws, we all have some flaws. They don't necessarily prevent God from using you. Oh, you don't understand. I'm messed up. Oh my goodness, all of our heroes in the Bible were messed up. All the ones we preach about, they were some of the most jacked up people. You know, Abraham was too old for God to use him. Noah was a drunk. God still used him. Moses he had stuttering problem. I mean, you could go through the whole list. Job went bankrupt. David was an adulterer. God still used all of them. Leah was ugly. I'm not judging Leah. It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. We'd go through the whole list. The disciples fell asleep while they were praying with Jesus. And these were some messed up people. So Samson had long hair. God still used him. Samaritan woman was divorced more than once. I got on the elevator at my hotel last night. Lady looked at me, she goes, "You look like my third husband." It's like, wow. I thought of that Samaritan woman, I was like, what? I was like, how many times have you been married? And she said twice. So, God never gives up on you. He never quits looking at you. God never changes. His plans for you are good. He never quits believing in you and your future. So never settle, because God has greatness on the inside of you. The next J, journey with mentors. Journey with me. That's a sign of maturity. People that grow and learn from others. I just spent the last 2 days with my mentor, John Maxwell, and who's been just an incredible mentor. I'm better because of him. Every time I'm around him, I get better. I realize there's so much stuff I don't know. And that's what John Wooden, which was his mentor, the great coach John Wooden, said. What counts most is what you learn after you know it all. Because nobody knows it all, right? We've not been everywhere. We've not met everybody. There's always something to learn. And I talked about this last time I was here. If you want tomorrow to be different than today, learn something today that will make tomorrow different. If you go into tomorrow with the same information you have today, you won't have it tomorrow. You'll just have a longer today. So what am I going to learn today? How many like to be doing better than you're doing in some area of your life right now? You like to be doing. Yeah, if you're not doing as well as you'd like to be doing, it just means there's something you don't know. When I heard that, I went from being a know-it-all to being a learn-it-all. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know. So mentorship is vital in your life. We need people to cheer us on. I remember the first time I heard a guy became a mentor of mine by the name of Bob Harrison. Heard Bob Harrison teach, and he had this big box of stuff. And I don't even remember. I don't remember today how much. I remember it was 2 payments. You paid in 2 payments. And he got done speaking, and he said, they're available. And so I ran back. I said, I want it. I want everything. They said, you want everything? I said, everything. They said, I think it was like $700 or something for it all. And because he knew something I didn't know, and I wanted to find out what it was. And they told me it was $700. I didn't know he knew. I didn't know he knew that much stuff. That was more than I was expecting it to be. My wife said, you think it's worth it? I said, you know what? I think we're worth it. See, I don't buy books and CDs. He had all that stuff in that big box. I don't buy it because I think the paper was worth it. I bought it because I thought I was worth it, right? I mean, that's why I'm always investing. I got 4,000 books. Why? Too much stuff I don't know. If the difference between where you are and where you want to be is what you know, you'd keep growing, you'd keep learning, and that's why I got coaches. They help me. Some I've never met. I just listen to their podcasts, or I get their programs. I keep learning and growing, because if tomorrow's going to be different than today, I got to learn something today that'll make tomorrow different. And most people just settle for what's available. I want the best. I want to learn from the best. When I want an attorney, I don't just look for the one closest to my house. Right? I look for how many passed 2 or 3 churches at least to get here this morning? Right? And why? Because this is it. This is where you want to be, right? And so invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Do you think you're worth it? Right? I think I talked. Gosh, I don't have time to tell you about that. The next one. Oh, oh, and there's always, by the way, there's always a few people that like to learn and grow. The O, by the way, is outrageous generosity. Outrageous generosity. And I just wanted to show you a quick illustration because it's something I showed my son a few years ago, and I think it just helps make sense. I know it was for like a 10-year-old, but I think we can get it. But for those of you that are really into personal growth and development, I don't have time to go into a lot of stuff, but we've written several books, and I put them all together in this little program. They used to come in big boxes. Maybe I was here before, I had one of the big boxes, and you got one of those. And but what we did, we took 6 of our top programs, put them all together in this little thing you got right here. You get 6 books, 6 workbooks, over 72 videos, audio books, 6 audio books, everything for 6 of our top books and programs. So there's always 2 or 3 people like me that I want to learn, I want to grow. And if you think I could help you, I think I could. One of my jobs as a coach to help people get a plan. And I put together a 30-day program in here to help you develop a plan. How many like it if you woke up every morning and I was at your house? Not many of you. You're like, oh God, I don't know if I can handle that guy. He looks like he eats a lot. But we go every morning. We grow and learn together, and so we put together 6 of our top programs. One on mindset. I may have to work on your mindset sometimes. That's kind of what we're talking about this morning. Mindset Matters. That's an 8 program. 12 Traits of the Greats, which Pastor mentioned, is in here. It's a 12-week program. Make that break. How many have ever had a bad habit? I mean, like, how do you get rid of a bad habit? Develop a better habit. So make that, break that. Another shot is the game plan for life. Anyway, we put them all together. I think this little program, and you just download it. When you get this, you'll download it, get all this stuff, and it'll help you. It's about 6 months worth of stuff at least to help you. And normally, that's a handsome guy right there behind me. How you doing? That's a free thing we do every day if you like to get a 3-minute video just to encourage you, get you going that morning when you wake up, that you can get that for free. But anyway, that whole thing, I think on our website's like $1,500, but you can get it here. I think it's 200 or something like that. I don't even remember, 250. Not for everybody, but there's always a few people that are like me. I just want to grow, I want to learn, and I think that'll help you. I was explaining to my son about generosity. And I grew up, I learned about tithing growing up, and we've been talking about that actually here a little bit with our 90-day challenge. And many of you, I think over 100 people already have said, you know what, I'm going to take the challenge, which is amazing because I grew up in church and they taught us you tithe, you better tithe. You know, we went to kids' church, they just taught us songs in there, you know, God will take it out of your hide if you don't pay your tithe. To us, God was like the godfather of the mafia. If you give him his money, it's like protection money. He won't break your legs. You know, we didn't learn the joy of giving, the joy of generosity, and how when you put God first in your heart, we said life goes better when you put God first. It's easy to put him first in your finances when he's first in your heart, when he's first in your life. And so I was explaining this to my son, and I remember it was around Thanksgiving, we had a pumpkin pie, and so I used that, and I said, hey, let me show you. I just said, you know, when we get paid, it's like a pie. You know, you've seen a pie chart, right? And you got a lot of bills to pay. So I'm explaining to him because he'd gotten some money for his birthday. And I said, 10% goes to God, you know. He said, it's my birthday money. I said, I know, but everything we've got came from God, right? We wouldn't have anything if God didn't give it to us. So God gave that to you. He said, no, Grandma gave this to me. And anyway, so I'm trying to explain to him tithing. So I said, just pretend like this is your paycheck. Like Dad gets a paycheck or you get some money. And first thing we do is we're putting God first. I said, we got all kind of bills and stuff to pay. So you got a choice. You get your paycheck like this, and you gotta take care of stuff, right? You gotta pay your bills. And I said, it's important. You want to pay your mortgage or your rent or your whatever first. You know, you got to get that paid because that's where you live. And that's a big chunk usually. And so you got to cut that piece of the pie. And so you cut that piece, get it all, get that taken care of right away. And then you got car payment. You got to get that taken care of, get that car payment. My wife's got a car too. Got to get her car payment. Let's see what else we got. We got, gas for the car, insurance for the car. My goodness, that's a whole nother chunk. We got utilities. phone bills. Gotta have my cell phone. Call me on my cell phone. I gotta pay that credit card, and then that doctor bill, that insurance. Gotta pay the insurance there, and me. Well, what about me? My kids. I worked all week. Paid the mortgage. I paid the electric. I did all this. I need to enjoy a little bit myself, and so I'm gonna go to a movie and maybe go to dinner, and then it's church Sunday. I gotta give God His. God, you've been so good to me this week, and you blessed me with everything I've got, and I wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for you, Lord. So I just want to put you first in my life, and I'm just going to give you these crumbs that I got left because I'm just so thankful, Lord, for all you've done for me today. I said, this is the way a lot of people live their life. They love Jesus. They gave him some crumbs. But that's a self-first life. We don't live a self-first life, son. We live a God-first life. And so when you live a God-first life, it's like this, son. You got your pie, right? It's the same thing. You got your pie. And what do? You say, God, I'm going to put you first. Yeah, I got to pay my mortgage. My dad used to tell me, if you'll put God first, if you'll give him the 10% first, you'll find that the 90% will go much further than the 10%. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense, Dad, because I cut my 10%, right? I cut the piece of the pie, and I go, okay, God, I give you your part first. I honor you, Lord, with the tithe. The first of my increase, I bring it to you. So then I gave God his part first. Well, that's 90% left. It looks like less to me than the 100%. But I did notice this. When you give God his part first, do you notice from now on, everything you do begins with God and ends with God? And then I noticed that my dad said the 90% would be more blessed than the 100%. And I thought, how does that work? Because when God takes his 90% and puts a little blessing on it, all of a sudden, the 90% starts looking better than the whole 100%. And not only does he bless the 90%, he blesses all these other areas of your life. And how many want to live a blessed life? And not only does he bless all these other areas, he blesses you in the process. No, not too much. But what's a happy pill, that scripture? Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. So you have a choice. Say, hey, am I going to live a God-first life and let God bless the rest? Let God put his blessing on my life? Or am I going to live a self-first life? Say, God, I got to do this first, I got to do that first. And Lord, here's what's left. So you have a choice. You have a choice. You're going to live an outrageous life of generosity. God loved you so much that he gave his very best, his only son for you. He says, start with this. Hey, I'll open up the windows of heaven. How many want the windows of heaven open over your life, over your family? And that's so much more than just money. That's just a part. This isn't really even a money test at all. It's a trust test. That's all this is. When I do this, all I'm saying is, God, I trust you. I trust you. I believe what your word says, and I trust you. Maybe you've not taken the step yet. Many of you are already seeing this. Or maybe you said, I'm going to do it, and already you've had a couple of things like, maybe not. That's why he says first. That's why I said, God, I trust you. And so I give you yours first. I give to you first, and then I trust you to take care of all the rest. Not I can take care of all the rest, and then God, I give you what's left. If you're going to live a life of outrageous generosity the way God did with us, you put him first. The last one, I'm out of time. Yield to maintenance was the last one. Rest. That's all that is. Just rest a little bit. God set the whole thing up in Genesis for a day of rest. Don't get going and doing so much that you never take time just to. Tired eyes rarely see a bright future. right? When fatigue walks in, faith walks out. So make sure you rejuvenate. Make sure you take time to rest. And in the program on habits, one of the things I talk about is 3 kinds of days I have: result days, prep days, and rest days. You got to have time for that rest. I wish I could stay for another week. I got a whole bunch more good stuff here, but all you have is today, right? There's no guarantee of tomorrow, next week, next year. So if you don't learn how to enjoy today, one more time, say the rest of my life will be the best of my life. Let me pray for you real quick. Just bow your heads across the room. Maybe you're watching online right now. We said at the very beginning, life goes better when you put God first. Maybe you're in this room today. Maybe you're watching us online and you've never made the decision to put God first. I want to give you an opportunity to do that today. Say, God, I'm going to put you first in my life. Maybe you're here, you say, you know, Dave, at one point God was first place in my life, but if I'm real honest today, I've allowed some other things to come before God. He's not where he should be right now. I've allowed a job or a relationship or something to come before God. And today I want to reprioritize my life. I want to put God back where he belongs. Life goes better when you put God first. Your head bowed across the room. If you're watching online, when I count to 3, I'm going to count to 3 in just a moment. Maybe if you're watching online, you could pop up a little hand emoji. Go, hey, Dave, remember me when you pray that prayer. If you're in the room and you've never made the decision to put God first, you want to do that today. Or you want to put God back first place in your heart. I'm going to count to 3. I'm going to look across the room one time. I just want you to lift your hand real quick. And when you do, say, that's just saying, pray for me. 1, never made the decision to put God first. 2, you're putting him back first place in your life. 3, real quick. Let me see your hands across the room. Let me see your hand. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you, ma'am. God bless you. God bless you. Online, God bless you. Lord, I thank you for hands in every section today saying yes. Yes to you, Lord. Yes to your will. Yes to your way. Yes to you being first place in our heart, in our life. You said it's as easy as this, that we'd believe in our heart, say with our mouth, Jesus Christ is Lord, we'd be saved. I want everyone across the room, just say those words with me. Online, say these words. Say, Jesus Christ is my Lord. Come on, Jesus Christ is my, that's all he said. Believe in your heart, say that with your mouth. Jesus Christ is my Lord. It begins a brand new day. Best decision you'll ever make. One more thing while your heads are bowed. One more thing, just real quick. When you put God first in your heart, it's easy to put him first in those other areas of your life. And I took just 3 or 4 minutes there to share that little illustration I'd shared with my son about putting God first in our finances. And we've been challenging you here for the last several weeks to take that step. Try it for 90 days. Someone challenged me years ago. Try it for 90 days. I did it. I can tell you that was over 28 years ago, and I've never stopped. Has everything been perfect in my finances? No, it's not been perfect. But I can tell you what, I've always put God first. I made that decision to take a 90-day challenge 20-something years ago, and I've never stopped. And maybe you're here, maybe you've taken the challenge, maybe you said, I'm going to do it, and you've already had a couple bumps. And maybe you haven't even made the decision yet, but today that little illustration goes, that makes sense to me. I'm ready to take the challenge. With heads bowed one more time, just going to look across the room one time. If you say, you know, I made the challenge, but I'm struggling, I'm ready to jump in there. I'm ready to do this thing. 90 days, just straight 90 days. Maybe you messed up already. You want to get back on the track and go. Or if you haven't made the decision at all, and today you say, you know what? I'm ready to put God first in the area of my finances. Real quick, I'm going to count to 3. Lift your hand real quick. Let me just pray for you. No one's looking around. 1, 2, 3. Let me see your hand real quick. Let me see your hand. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Yes, 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 yes. Father, I thank you for hands. People saying yes again to you. Yes to you. Father, I thank you that, well, they'll have the same testimony as me 20 years from now. They'll say, I just never quit because God did what he said he would do. Father, I thank you for that in Jesus' name. Put your hands together for all those that said yes to Jesus today. Amen. God bless you guys.